and welcome to my weekly Q&A. This week I'm going to answer a question about footwear that was emailed to me in response to a video that I had created with a colleague of mine. Dr. Fletcher Parker is a rehab chiropractor in Beaverton, Oregon, and he and I are working on a series of videos together. This particular one is about foot function and foot mobility, so the email that I received was about that. I'll post the link to that video along with this one so you can watch it for reference. So this person says, I had a pair of work shoes that gave me Achilles pain, so I got a different pair, this time with ankle support. Heel pain has subsided, but now just in front of the entire front pad feels a little swollen between the pad and the arches of my toes. While the rest of the shoe feels good, the toe box is a little narrow, so I've got a little pain on the sides of my pinky toes. So he's just asking for help in troubleshooting this. Now, I have not seen this person's shoes and I have not assessed his gait or his feet. So I am going to speak to this to the best of my ability just based on what he's describing here. Now, I think this person is experiencing what I call footwear whack-a-mole. So if you've ever played that kids game where something pops up out of the game, so you whack it with a hammer, but then it pops up somewhere else, so you whack it again, and it just keeps going and going, and you have to try to keep up. Shopping for footwear can be a lot like that, except it is less fun, more time consuming, and way more expensive. It can be a really frustrating experience. So when we're talking about support in a shoe, we are inherently, by definition, also talking about preventing movement. This is not necessarily a bad thing. I'm going to say that again. This is not necessarily a bad thing. And I am emphasizing this because there is a huge debate in the world of movement over barefoot shoes versus arch support. Now, when we hear the word support, we generally have a very positive association with that word. It's something that feels good. It's something we desire. In general, support is something we all want more of, right? When we hear prevent movement, we associate that as being something that we do not want. We have a negative association with that word. Now, I want to shine light on this because I think the way practitioners talk about this makes a huge difference in how we perceive something that is objectively not good or bad. This is really important because there is a middle ground here. Now, feet have a huge capacity for movement. We have 33 joints in our feet, and anywhere there's a joint, there is an opportunity for movement. So they don't just move front to back, they also rotate side to side. They also soften when we're loading our weight, and they become a rigid lever when we're launching our weight. And most of this is done through the intrinsic arch of the foot, although all of these joints participate in that. So this is one reason that barefoot shoes are so popular. So they allow all these natural movements of the foot to happen without any restriction. So we can allow this natural function to happen, and we do not live in a natural world. We spend most of our time walking around on concrete. So the concrete that we walk on influences the way that impact force enters our bodies, just from a purely physics standpoint. And I think it's really important to take this into context when we're talking about footwear. So where I stand on this debate is that I think that in general, most people can benefit from more movement in their feet. This is why I teach a lot of intrinsic strength exercises like short foot. And I also do a lot of teaching of manual therapy techniques, such as rolling out your feet with a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball. So I'm going to tell you something that a lot of movement teachers will not tell you, and they can all disagree with me, and that's perfectly fine. I know that I'm getting into some very controversial territory here, but you can put an insert in a minimal shoe, and the barefoot police are not going to come after you for it. So it is possible to have a little bit of cushion and a little bit of support if that is something that you need, and still access a larger range of motion with your foot. So for the person who is writing in with this question, I do have a few suggestions for you. The first is to not lace up your shoes all the way. So if we're talking about a pair of work boots here, what I mean by that is only lace them up to about where the ankle is, so right about here, and then leave this part unlaced. So what that will do is allow the ankle to plantar flex and dorsiflex, which is an important part of the gait cycle. So that just means moving like this. It's the forward to back movement. Another thing I would suggest trying, if new shoes are an option for you, is to try a shoe with a wider toe box. Now, I have very long, narrow feet, except for my toe box, which is quite wide, and that is the width across the metatarsals. So shoe fitting for me is a freaking nightmare, and it is one of the reasons that there are very few pairs of shoes in my life. Most of the shoes I do have are a brand called Vivo Barefoots, which I love because they have a little bit of a wider toe box, and they also have a very flexible sole, so they're designed specifically for this kind of thing. I also love that Vivos have lots of style options, so you don't even have to sacrifice your outfit to wear them, which is my favorite part personally. So I hope that this is helpful and that it answers some of these questions and hopefully clears up a little bit about the debate between barefoot shoes and arch support. This is one of my favorite topics, so please keep the questions coming. I would love to do another video about this.